नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome all the devotees, disciples, visitors, viewers, Sarvanyapeta Yajamans, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, everyone who are sitting with us through Nityananda TV, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha all over the world. Let me enter into the third and fourth verse of the Kena Upanishad, which I was talking yesterday. Recite along with me. Natatra chakshur gacchati, navak gacchati, no manah, na vidmo, navijanima, yadaidat anusishyat, anyadeva, tatvididat, ato avidat ati, idi, shushruma purvesham, enastat, vyachachakshire. Listen. The literal translation of the verse, there the eyes goes not, the speech goes not, nor the mind and intellect. We do not know, we do not understand how that reality, consciousness can be taught. It is distinct from the known. As it is far beyond man's finite objective nature. That is what the mind, eyes, ears or speech or senses can perceive. And it is beyond the unknown, as it can be known by man's divine infinite subjective nature. Thus we have heard from the ancient masters who revealed and explained that to us. Please understand, you need only one thing to understand this whole verse: purity. I am not saying, when I say purity means, I am not saying some big tapas, austerity. No, no. Purity in understanding this verse. Anything which you can see, which you can visualize, is not the ultimate. Anything which you can speak or which you can verbalize internally is not ultimate. Anything which you can conceptually explain or think through is not that ultimate. Listen carefully. Human mind's greed to grasp everything and bring it under our frame should be sacrificed. When it comes to the ultimate, that is where authentic experience happens. Please listen. anything which you can grasp visualize, verbalize, debate, analyze, understand, cannot be the ultimate. I just wanted to remind you the lesson I got from Swami Vairagyananda, which I was sharing yesterday. Develop something in you which will be holding, supporting, nourishing, keeping you alive even after your eyes fail, speech fails, mind fails, the logic with which you are able to connect the things and fails. Listen, when your sugar level goes low, your visualization capacity will collapse. Same way, if your insulin level goes high, your fantasies will just take over you. You do not know what is reality and what is fantasy. If your salt level goes low, your verbalization will lose its power. You will not be able to connect and see. There will be a time in your life while you are leaving the body or after you left the body, all this will not be functioning, will not be useful for you. Develop something which will be useful for you at that time, where all this will not be functioning for you. That which will continue to be alive in you, even when all these things are not functioning anymore. That is what I call the goal of life, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, space of Sada Shivoham. Understand? Even when I say the word Sada Shivoham, don't think you understand something. If you think you can grasp that word Sadashiva, it is not Sadashiva. Actually, if you read the original Kashmiri Shaivite text and the Adi Shaiva text, which Sadashiva himself has spoken. Now I am doing a work collecting the complete works of Sadashiva. Whatever book available in the name of Sadashiva, Nilakanta, Mahadeva, Bhairava, collecting everything and consciously scanning and organizing complete works of Sadashiva. Anything directly he delivered, if you read, you will understand the definition of Sadashiva, you can never grasp. It is again, natatra chakshur gacchati, navag gacchati, no manaha, navidmo, navejanimaha, yadaidadanusishyat. Please understand, the Upanishads should be heard only from an enlightened being. Only then the purity will be retained. And the beauty of Upanishad is, if the person who is talking, if he is retaining the purity and you are retaining the purity of the listening, you are done. Nothing more needs to be done. You are done because Shravana becomes Nididhyasana. That is why I always tell people, do not read Upanishads from unenlightened sources. See, there are many people who provide alternative readings. Max Muller is a criminal. Forget about him. He is an intellectual criminal. He did what he did only to abuse Hinduism. Forget him. But in the modern day, many people are trying to provide alternative readings. Never read Upanishadic truths from their alternative reading, the alternative styles. Please understand. As long as they do not touch our Shruti, I don't mind what they are doing. But they have no right to give an alternative reading style for our Shruti. See, if they try to give an alternative reading for Rama, Krishna, all that, I am not accepting what they are doing, but I don't mind, it's okay. Because our incarnations are there to be cherished by people as they want. Each one for their taste, for their mental setup, they will cherish, they will give their style of interpretation. But no one has right to give alternative style of reading or understanding when it comes to Shrutis, Upanishads. Please understand, because this is the core of our life. See, there are two methods atomic energy is generated. One, trying to put both two atoms, hit both of them, merge both of them, and manifest energy. Another one, try to break one atom, and then the energy starts exploding, manifesting. See, these yogic methods are all where two atoms are, where they are trying to put two atoms unite. Those methods are totally different. But these Advaitic methods are trying to break that one atom. The method, system, the effects, side effects, everything is different. These Advaitic, pure Shruti literatures should not be commented, interpreted. The alternative reading styles, thought currents on these Upanishads should not be tolerated. Not only that, please do not read Upanishads from unenlightened sources. Because the second verse of the Kenopanishad, if you see the second verse of the Kenopanishad, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vachoha Vacham Savu Pranasya Pranaha Chakshus Chakshuhur Atimushya Dhiraha Pretyas Mallokat Amrita Bhavanti. The verse, the whole verse is not at all pointing to somebody, something. It is only intensifying your pure questioning. It's a method of breaking one atom, opening up one atom and manifesting the energy. It is not a method of trying to put two atoms together, hit them, try to unite them and manifesting the energy. No. Please understand. If something is defined and you are asked to move towards that, it is putting two atoms together, hitting both the atoms and manifesting energy. That's the method of yoga. But if you are breaking one atom and making the energy manifest, that is method of the Shuddha Advaita, the Advaita. See, when it comes to incarnations, avatars, Rama, Krishna, all these masters and their biographies, people having alternative thought current or alternative storytelling method, I have no problem, because we have almost 100,000 versions of Ramayana. That's the way we cherish Rama. But this modern day alternative reading style interpreters should not be touching the core concepts of Hinduism. They should not try to become authority on Shruti. The danger is, in the modern day, people don't know what is Shruti, what is Smriti. So all these alternative thought reading providers, all of them are trying to play with the Smriti itself, with the original source text itself. That is where the whole problem starts. The other day I was reading one of these alternative style guys. He is very comfortably interpreting the Kena Upanishad second verse as if it is showing, declaring consciousness. And he is using this verse even to define consciousness. No. The second verse, nowhere it uses the word, any word which even can be remotely translated as consciousness. Shrotrasya shrotram, manaso manoyat, vachoha vacham, savu pranasya pranaha, chakshush chakshu, atimushya dhiraha, pretya smallokat amrita bhavanti. Over. Nowhere even a word exists which can be remotely translated as consciousness. But very comfortably, these so-called modern day interpreters go on translating this verse adding the word consciousness. Consciousness is the year of the year. They go on adding everything they want. Understand the beauty? Here in this verse, I need to explain one more thing. In English, only singular and plural. In Sanskrit, it is not. Singular, dual, plural. So this verse, second verse, when it comes to Shrotra, ear, dual is used. When it comes to mana, singular is used. When it comes to vacha, singular is used. When it comes to chakshu, plural is used. Means 3 eyes, not 2. Understand? When it comes to ears, dual is used. When it comes to manas, singular word is used. When it comes to vak, singular word is used. When it comes to prana, singular word is used. When it comes to chakshu, plural word is used. More than 2. Not 2. More than 2. Means 3. Or more than 2. Our masters were in high conscious frequency. Even in their poetry, they do not miss what they are trying to convey. So when they have not used the word which can even be remotely translated as consciousness, and if you insert that word into this verse, the whole thing is collapsed. This modern day alternative reading style, writers, authors, as long as they keep their border, they just play with the incarnations. I will not accept, but I will not bother about them. Okay, it's okay, a dramatized version, a portrait. Portrait is the artistic expression. But if they try to become authority on the original science, Shruti, then something seriously wrong. Then they are trying to subvert. They are not trying to support, they are only subverting. Do not read these great truths from the people who are interested in subverting and not supporting. That is what I call maintaining your purity. Not reading from the unenlightened sources is what I mean by the word purity. Fortunately, that personal moment of listening to Vairagyananda Swami, the fortune of listening to Vairagyananda Swami, where he says, Koka, my eyes have failed, but I do not have problem because I never built myself on something which my eyes can see or cherish through visualization. If you meditated on certain form your whole life, visualizing, when your eyes fail, you will fall into depression, because what you meditated will not be there. You will not be able to hold that in your inner space. Understand, do not meditate on any form which can be seen or visualized by your eyes. All visualizing meditations can be initial entertainment, theology light. Okay, just to have little celebration, excitement, inspiration, to start your journey. Wow, this God looks so beautiful. And you may be wondering, a person who is all the time making huge deities and putting tons of jewels on it and worshipping, he is telling don't meditate on a form. Understand, the truth is a truth is a truth when it comes to the pure science. I'll tell you later why I make those huge deities, why I put all those jewels, why I myself bow down again and again. All that I'll explain later. Now listen to the truth in its pure form. Vairagyananda told me very clearly, not only he told me, I experienced it. Anything which you can see and which you can visualize based on what you saw. See, all your visualizations can be developed only based on what you saw. For example, if you see elephant with one trunk, you can visualize elephant with 1,000 trunk, but the one trunk elephant you should have seen. So all your visualizations are nothing but expansion of what you already saw. So when your chakshu fails, and it will fail at one point of your life. Either before you leave the body or around the time you are leaving the body, it will fail. That time you will fall into depression, you will fall into emptiness, you will fall into abyss. If you have built your whole personality on visualization, no. Same way, if you have built your personality only on verbalization, means on some ideas, concepts, speaking or internally verbalizing, even if it is a great mantra, when the verbalization fails, you will fall into depression. No. And if you have built your personality cherishing some concept, sometimes you don't meditate on form, you don't meditate on name, but you cherish certain gunas, characters, qualities, Satchidananda Parabrahma, the pure consciousness, light, intelligence, bliss, all these concepts, your cognitions, even if you contemplate and meditate and build your personality on that, when your ability to connect, when your intellect fails, you will fall into depression, because your intellect also will fail before you leave the body, before you die. The only thing which does not fail even after all these fails is the space of unclutching, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. From the beginning, start building that. More and more time, energy, life should